How many of you guys out here have never been to a Quest event at all? Few of you. Good. We have a lot of them. We're based out of here in Texas, but we also travel and we do a lot of speaking with the sponsors that we have. I will tell you that the sponsors that I have been carefully picked. They weren't just picked because they were able to write a check to help with the expo, because that's not how Quest works. They were picked because they were strategic people that have helped not only myself and my brother achieve the success that we've achieved, but may have also been very instrumental in many of our clients in achieving the success that they have. Because I think education is really key to investing and doing it well. So take the time, spend a little bit of time and talk to each of the vendors. They really are the experts in the industry and what they do. So, and like I said, we are having the happy hour at 7. It's involved for everybody. If you want to get into the VIP room, you can pay at the door a little bit, or just show your VIP card as you come in, or sponsorship card, and we'll let you in the door. All except for Eddie Speed. Do not let Eddie Speed back there. Just saying. Bar him at the door, Anne-Marie. All right. So one other thing is something that's kind of cool is we made an application for your phone for just this event. If you go and download this really quick to your phone, you'll be able to know where all the vendors are. You'll be able to know what's coming up. You'll be able to get bios on the speakers. They even have places to tell you where to go for lunch and everything else. It's real simple, free app that you can get, the Quest Expo app. If you have any problems with it, just let one of the Questies know, and they'll come and help you out with it. So look for that app. I'm not sure where I point this thing. Okay, guys. So we have a really special announcements coming up, and I was supposed to take the first 30 minutes to go through basics about self-directed IRA. Everything that we talk about this afternoon goes through the basics. On average, when I give a basics class, I usually go for about an hour to an hour and a half of pontificating. I'm told I've got to do this in about 8 minutes, and I've used up 36 seconds so far. So my point being, if you guys have never been exposed to Quest, I think most of you know, you can take your retirement account and buy real estate. You can take your retirement account and loan money out on it. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have ended up at a Quest Expo. But I am going to go through this at lightning speed, all right? So what is a self-directed IRA? A self-directed IRA really isn't any different than any other type of IRA. Actually, there's no such thing as a self-directed IRA. It's not a type of IRA at all. At Quest, we hold private assets, not publicly traded assets. So the difference between us and Charles Schwab or Fidelity like that is they're licensed securities agents, and they sell you publicly traded assets. At Quest, we don't sell you anything at all. We must always maintain ourselves as a neutral third party, which is really important to understand. Though we have sponsors and vendors and everything, Quest never endorses any things. We don't sell any products. We don't do any of those things. We simply hold private assets. So when someone brings their retirement money to us, we can't tell them what to do with it. They have to know what they want to do with it. Does that make sense? So one of the takeaways from the slide, though, is most of my clients actually keep an account with their normal custodian, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Edward Jones, or whatever, an account with Quest, and transfer the money back and forth as needed. The reason being is we don't have those extra investments. So if you have cash just sitting with Quest, it just sits nice and safely, but it doesn't do anything. So in order to keep it active, if you get a payoff, move your money back and forth and be intimately knowledgeable about how long it takes to move the money. If you guys need more questions, we have Joan Fika. She's out there. She's in our transfer department and certainly would answer all your questions with that, right? There's a lot of benefits to having self-directed IRA. You always hear that you should have your portfolio diversified, right? The funny thing is most people don't have any holdings in real estate in their retirement portfolio. I mean, self-direction really allows for true diversification into different asset classes. And of course, tax savings. With the new tax rules and tax regulations and electronics, you better understand the rules. If you want to build some wealth, you better understand how to hang on to it is one of the key elements of building wealth. Sometimes it's not the funnest thing to learn, but it's, really, really important. But I think the biggest benefit of having a self-directed account is allowing you to invest in the things that you know and understand the best. I think that's the most important things. If you understand something, you're going to do better if you invest in it. A self-directed IRA isn't a type of account. There's all types of accounts that can be self-directed. There's traditional and Roth, and most people think that the Roth IRA is the most important account that we have. Why? Because it grows completely tax-free if we've had it for 5 tax years and above the age of 59 and a half. But the reality of it is, what's more important is the traditional IRA. Why? That's where most people's money is, right? We had a 403, a 401k, 457 plan, some type of tax-deferred plan. So most of our analysis that we deal with, we have to start with the tax-deferred bucket. Often, and we'll be talking a lot today about doing conversions to a Roth IRA and those things, but don't get confused. You do not have to have it in a Roth IRA to self-direct it. 84% of the investments that come from Quest are tax deferred and not in the tax-free accounts, and that's something that a lot of people get surprised about since we talk so much about it. But there's also employer plans that can be self-directed, like the powerful solo 401k, simple IRAs, or SEP IRAs. A lot of people go, do you administrate 401ks? So yes, we do, and I think they're really important, but it's really important to understand them and know how to use them or legitimize them. And a lot of the talks today will be about the specialty plans, our Coverdell education account and health savings accounts. These are so powerful, most people just don't understand the power of how to use them. To pay, because you're not only paying for future expenses, but you could be using these self-directed accounts to pay for today's expenses. With Coverdell education accounts, it's kindergarten all the way through college, so private school, computers, books, things that you may be paying for. And health savings accounts are also very, very versatile. We can use them to buy eyeglasses and dental work and all types of other things like that. So it should be a lot of fun. There are some restrictions on IRA. There are investment restrictions, transaction restrictions, but most importantly, there are people restrictions. And if we do a restricted transaction in an IRA, it becomes prohibited. You don't go to jail for it, but boy, the fines get really, really nasty. So we try to avoid them. The biggest part of it is actually the people restrictions. There are people who are restricted to the IRA. That include yourself, your spouse, your lineal ascendants and descendants, their spouses, and companies that you own, control, or manage. These are the people who can't do business with your IRA. You have to separate your IRA out from your own investment and think about it differently. In other words, we take our IRAs and we invest it for our future, right? And how do we make money now if we need to make money? We use other people's IRAs to fund our transactions or to make those now. There's a list of them. You, your spouse, your lineal ascendants and descendants, their spouses are just, those people can't do business. There are also the transaction restrictions are just the things that the people can't do. They can't buy, sell, trade, or extend services to. So we already talked about it. And there are some investment restrictions which really don't get us. Life insurance contracts and collectibles. I mean, that's just not going to get us. Everyone got that? It really is about the people who you can't do business with. And who are the people, one more time? You, your spouse, your children and parents, lineal ascendants and descendants, their spouses, and here's the kicker that we have to pay attention to a lot. Companies that those people own, control, manage, or considered highly compensated employees thereof, which does lead us to some problems in things. If you guys have questions about this, I have a lot of IRA specialists, over 15 of them on staff. Most of them are out here with you and will help you to answer any of those questions. What do you think you can invest with a self-directed IRA? Anything. Just about anything that you can actually take title to. A lot of people think that Quest IRA is a real estate IRA company, and we do hold a lot of real estate, all different types, commercials, foreclosures, options, even real estate in foreign countries, but it's not our largest asset class. Only 19% of our assets are fee simple real estate. there's a lot of limited liability companies, LLCs, and those. Of course, that's buying a lot of real estate too, but they do other things that we hold in there. But our biggest asset class at Quest are actually notes, and most of those notes are secured by real estate. And so you'll hear a lot of conversations today about notes, because notes work really well in the retirement space. And I think that some of our most exciting questions today will be about those things.